Welcome to another SirJamesDTech video. Today I would like to make the case for gaming in 3D. And for those of you that have friends out there who you've heard shout to the top of their lungs that they hate 3D, it's not for them, this is the video you're going to want to show them. Okay, and those of you that have formed your opinions purely off of movies in 3D, I can sympathize. Really, I can. Because I've seen the clips of The Hobbit in 3D, Avatar in 3D, and while those are good movies, the experiential feeling I get is more of being shoved from behind through the displays in a museum, rather than being allocated the time to appreciate the details and really immerse yourself in the experience. Now, if you're in a situation where you say to yourself, hey, 3D gaming is just too expensive for me at this point, I can understand that. We're all struggling to make ends meet, and you got to make the well thought out choice of buying a 3D capable monitor, the NVIDIA 3D Vision 2 kit, and also an NVIDIA graphics card capable of 3D playback. But to say, oh, I hate 3D because of the movies that I've seen and I'm just not giving it a chance, well, that's like saying I bought a VW Golf years ago and it took a crap on me, and so I'm not going to buy a Mercedes because I hate German cars. It's taking something that's largely unrefined and frankly a gimmick in 3D movies and transferring that experience over to something which is much more slower paced, personal, and allows you the time to really check things out on your own. You go and say, hey, I want to go check over there in that cavern or wherever you want to go, instead of just being shoved unwillingly in an area. And the experience is always improving because gamers are really voicing their approval and they demand innovation. Now, when I did the video for the Asus 3D monitor behind me a couple weeks ago, I gave my preemptive impression that I thought 3D gaming might be a bit of a gimmick. I was more concerned about the 120 Hertz on the monitor than it was the 3D. And that was based on the fact that I've had absolutely no recent exposure to 3D. I'm not somebody that hangs out at Best Buy and puts on the vision kits that 800 other people have put on their greasy heads. And it was also based on my impressions of 3D from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, which was just plain and simple ridiculous. I'll take the Lara Croft experience in the most recent reboot for Tomb Raider. Movies have largely stagnated when it comes to 3D, but on the flip side of that coin, there is nothing like watching Lara Croft whip her head around, and I'm doing bobs and weaves, because it looks like her flowing tresses and her hair, just as it gets grimier and dirtier, it looks like it's going to lash you right in the eyes, so you're ducking and all that, And I'll tell you a couple other titles are the Batman Arkham titles, with the smoke and the cobwebs and leaves and things like that, the smoke especially. The only thing I can liken it to is when I'm walking in for classes to my smoke-free campus and a big plume of smoke comes right in your face. That's exactly the experiential feeling I get. 3D gaming for me, especially in the new Tomb Raider, has been a series of epiphanies. If you can remember during the review for Tomb Raider I gave, I stated that instead of being a passenger along for the ride, it feels like you're the driver. Well, that is only amplified in 3D, and for that review, I had only done the two-dimensional. So at some point, the details become so crisp, it looks like you can reach out and grasp any object or touch a rock, and it really almost feels like you're ripping them off for what you paid to get this kind of an experience. Now, this is not a buying guide. What I can recommend for you is to try out my monitor, the Asus VG278H, but what I really wanted to do with this video is to implore you not to shut off your mind to 3D just because you've had a bad experience here or there, or even if you get headaches, because just don't go overboard with it. Try it for maybe an hour and a half at a time, and then hopefully your mind and your eyes will adjust. Now, if you're one of those people that you say, I've tried 3D gaming and I hate it. Or, I like 3D movies much better. Then I can respect the hell out of you for that. But at the very least, maybe file it under, okay, I'll try that sometime this year. I've got one of the more intelligent audiences out there, based on user comments I've seen. So I know each of you is going to take the words I've said to heart. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this. Talk later.